So welcome back to Tackle King fishing channel. It's a bit of a fishing channel today. I'm down at Coronation Park where I'm actually going to try and do a little bit of fishing. It's a 10.3 metre tide. High tide's at about 10:30, and I'm down here now. It's about 9 o'clock, about an hour and a half before high tide. It's very cold. Didn't realise just how cold it was, and I've got no gloves. But I'm going to try and stick it out. There's a very strong and cold wind blowing, but hopefully it should be a good day's fishing. Well, at least a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours fishing. So I'll get set up and then we can see what we've got. The bait today I've got is I've got some shrimp or raw prawns, which is sort of left over from Christmas. So I'm just going to use those up. They're frozen, but they should defrost fairly quickly, and we'll see if we can get anything on that. So let's get set up and let's start some fishing. So rigged up. I'm just using a very basic, very simple rig today. I've just got a swivel at the top for going onto my main line. Connection at the top for the main line, connection at the bottom for my weight. I'm using a 4-ounce gripper weight. It's a bit light for this location, but my rod is only rated up to about 150 grams on the lower weight. I've got a new one coming which is 300 grams, so I've had to go up to about 8 ounce weight, which is much better for this sort of area of the River Usk. Well, I've got a 4-ounce gripper, a couple of loops and some 2-0 long shank hooks and just a couple of raw prawns on the end. So that's the rig I'm going to be using today. We'll get it casted out and we'll see what happens. Right, that's out. Fingers crossed we'll get a few bites. There is a very, very cold wind blowing, which is making it a little bit uncomfortable. Well, I've got my flask, I've got my chair, so we'll sit down and we'll wait. It's getting so blowy out here. The wind's blown up so much, it's blown my microphone off. So I had to go and hunt it down, but I found it and it's back. Just had the RNLI inshore lifeboat was up. I think it's RNLI or something like that. But yep, the rip coverage isn't as bad as I thought. It does look like I'm holding the bottom quite well on that 4-ounce weight. So we'll see, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get a bite or two. I can't remember if I mentioned anything about that new basket I've got on the back of the e-bike. This one, it's really, really useful. If you remember some of my videos, I used to spend a lot of time strapping down my tackle bag onto the small rack at the back and the rods and that. But this basket is large enough for me just about to drop that Shakespeare chair, the Shakespeare folding chair and bag, just slide straight into the back of there, and then I'll just pack my rods around it. No messing around, no strapping down, no nothing, just out and away. Cost about £35, that basket did, but well worth the money, because it just makes life so much easier for fishing. Okay, the one thing I have at the moment, the biggest problem I have now, is that I've got a new smartphone for doing the videos and that, which has a much more powerful camera. It's an outdoor phone, so I can throw it about and it'll last. It's waterproof, dustproof. It even takes videos underwater, and it's also got night vision camera on it, and it's really, really good outdoors phone. The problem is, because it's outdoors phone, it's got a rubber casing on it, it's now too deep to fit onto the selfie stick, and it's too deep to fit securely onto my tripod. So that keeps popping out and dropping down and falling on the floor. So I'm going to have to try and find a bigger tripod mount or phone mount or maybe a tablet mount to try and get a much more secure base for it. But it's a great phone anyway. It's the Doogie SP61, and it's got some really good stuff. It's 48 megapixel camera on it. It's got a 20 megapixel night vision camera, so I can take photographs in the dark and videos in the dark. It's just that little bit too thick or too wide to fit safely into standard smartphone holders. I can't use it on the bike holder or the helmet holder. The tripods have a problem, and all the selfie stick. But apart from that, it's a great phone. There's a nice bright sun shining this morning, and it looks really, really nice down. You got the bridge, the transporter bridge, when they're building the new visitor centre. I'll show you later when I leave how this bottom part of Stephenson Street is turning into a bit of a building site. Because even though they're building the transporter bridge visitor centre on the other side of the bank, I think that's something like £8 million worth of funding to refurbish and repaint and redevelop all of the area. So there's a lot of works traffic on this side, and they've closed off this bottom half of Stephenson Street. And next month they start to build the new flood defences. So there's going to be a lot more construction traffic down here. I'm going to a open day next week just to find out what's going to happen regarding fishing. Obviously once we've got all the construction traffic on site, we may not be able to get down here for a few months because it might be just closed off. Find out next week. Well, it's a cold and breezy morning, but a really beautiful one as well. All I need now is a few bites on the line just to get some activity going and get warmed up. Okay, I'm just going to cut in here because obviously, as you can hear, I lost connection between the microphone and my smartphone, and really I just wanted to say that at this stage the wind had picked up so much I had to put my waterproof on to try and cut down on the wind chill factor because it was just blowing straight through that coat. And then it started to get really gusty, and I ended up chasing my rod rest down the bank. It was getting impossible to cast out properly, so I decided at this stage just to call it a day and head back. I've been here about an hour and a half. It was nice to get out. I've not been out since November, but it really was just getting beyond a joke when it came to fishing. Okay, so that's it. I've called it a day. I've been down for about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer. It's just too breezy, too cold, too windy really to enjoy fishing and to do a decent casting. But that's the one thing about Coronation Park, is it's a great place to go fishing, but it is very exposed. You've got a wide range of that, a wide bank, nothing stopping that wind, and it just blows up like crazy, and it can gust quite a lot. So I've called it a day. I've had a good session though, hour and a half. First time out fishing since November, so I'm not going to complain. So let's have a quick look at the situation at the moment regarding access and streets, which is the main road coming up to the transporter bridge. As you can see, the top part of it is now closed off and all fenced off because of construction traffic and work units. There's plenty of parking still though, so you can go down there. Just remember that it's a very narrow passageway that you've got, so don't overload any trolleys if you come up with a fishing trolley. This is only going to get worse over the next few months. A lot of this is for the transporter route refurbishment, but in February you're going to start having construction traffic coming down for the flood defences, so it could get quite busy. Don't know the access for fishing at the moment during construction. I'll find that out next week when I go down to that open day. But that's it for today. A short session on the River Usk at Coronation Park. Not great, very windy, very cold. Was a blank, but it's just good to get back out for some fishing. So that's it till next time.